Hey everyone, the wait is over. Here we are with our first attack map on Docker containers. Today we will be tackling the container breakout with the volume mount attack. If the name sounds confusing, don't worry, we will cover everything you need to know. Let's get started and dive right in. So first thing we are going to do is open up our terminal, and now the first thing is let us validate that I am the root user on this particular map instance. Okay, that's important. So let me have the command for it, that is who am I. Cute command, isn't it? Right, now the output you see is that it says hey, you are the root user. Okay, now what I'm going to do, the next thing is I'm going to see if I can list out all the files I have. Okay, so these are the files I have: container attacks, then I have the secret.txt. Now what I'm going to do next is let me try to read that this particular interesting catchy name we have, that is secret.txt, okay, and see what is written in it. And to do that, I'm going to use my cat command and then use this secret.txt, and this is a secret. It says this is a secret. Okay, we now know that I'm the root user. I'm able to list my files and know what is there in the secret.txt. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a non-root user. Okay, so I'm using the sudo command for it and say v45. Okay, here what is happening is, we know what sudo command do. It is going to allow a permitted user to execute a command as a super user or another user as specified, and then you have the su, that is switch user or the substitute user. So it is going to help us to switch to the another user. Here we are using v45. So combined, what we are going to do is we are going to move to a non-root user and we are done. Okay, so let me check again that who am I, my favorite Q command. Okay, so it says your v45. From root we have moved to another user, that is v45. So what is next? So let me try to do the same thing what I did in the root. So let me try to read. Okay, before that let me try to list. Okay, it says cannot open directly. It says permission denied. Oops. Okay, fine. Let me see if I can do a cat command. Okay, so let me say cat secret.txt. It again says permission denied. So anyway, this is because that I'm a non-root user and I do not have the permission, and it says permission denied. So anyway, as a non-root I have access to Docker. Okay, let's just verify that once. So let me say docker images. So I have Antpine running, so I already have the image. Okay, then let me, so this is working, so let's say ps. So I have a container running. Good, so that means to say I have access. Okay, then let me try to put another image, maybe Redis. Okay, and wow, so it gets pulled. So this means to say even as a non-root user I do have access to my Docker. Good enough. So the next step what I'm going to do is launch the container as user v45 and do something called as volume mount. So this is what we do it to get the persisting storage. Okay, we mount host directly onto the Docker container. So let me mount my root volume, okay, onto the Docker container. So to do this, what I'm going to do is let me use the clear command and I'm here. Okay, the first thing what I'm going to try to do is run the Docker. Okay, so as a non-root user again, that is v45, what I'm trying here is to expose the root file system. So to do that, I'm saying docker run -it. Okay, I'm using the volume. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take the root directory of the host machine and I'm going to mount it onto the host fs of the container and use Antpine as the image. Okay, so as I said, host fs is what I'm using. So yeah, so I'm using host fs. Okay, and then I'm using Antpine. Now, so I'm here. Now let me try to list. You can see this is the host fs. Okay, so let me change the directory and go to host fs. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I'm there. Let me again try to list. Wow, I see secret.txt. Okay, now this is interesting, right? So what I'm going to do here is let me use the cat secret.txt, the thing that had actually given me a permission denied when I was the non-root user. I'm sorry for this. I'm already in the root. So all I can do is just say cat secret.txt and it says this is a secret. Now the root directory of the host machine, okay, is now exposed to my Docker container even though I'm running it as a non-root user, that is v45. I can even edit my file here. Okay, to do that all I have to do is say echo, okay, let's call it as tampered data and put in some cute exclamatory marks. Okay, right, and I'm writing it where to my secret.txt. okay, so it is done. Now this is the edit I have done. So let me check if my edit is working. So just say cat secret.txt and I see earlier when I was a root user I could see only this is a secret. Because of my tampering of data, I have whatever the tampered data is there, that is reflected here. Now I'm going to exit from my container. Okay, and then I'm going to exit again. Okay, now what I'm going to do is let me check who am I. So I'm the root user. Now I'm going to try to use the same command, that is cat root secret.txt, and now you can see this is a secret and tampered data. Though as a non-root user on the host machine I had absolute no access. It did say permission denied, but when I tried to mount the data and put on the root directory of my host machine to my container, that is host fs, and whatever the edit I did there is now reflecting even in my root, right? So as an attacker, think what you can start doing. So you can mount entire file system of host machine as a non-root user and tamper with these configuration files and whatever the other files as an attacker. It also makes you get the access of the host machine's password and any confidential files, data, and everything is tampered, right? So isn't this interesting? So that's a wrap on our first attack lab, where we actually tackled the Docker container breakout with our volume mount attack. Thanks for joining in. Stay tuned because we have got few more exciting attack labs coming up and that you won't want to miss it. So see you there. Bye bye.